Hello everyone. Today I wanted to discuss the future of the Saw franchise. Saw 10, as many of you know if you've watched it, was very good. Felt like a return to form for the franchise. It felt like the original movies. It wasn't Spiral. It didn't have Chris Rock, you know what I mean? It wasn't completely disconnected from the franchise. And it wasn't this weirdly modern twist of a movie where it's like, oh, it takes place before everything. It wasn't Jigsaw, right? I think it was a good return to what the series is known for, and I think it did it well. But that begs the question, what is next for Saw? So, the first thing that we know about the next movie is that it is going to be directed by Kevin, of course, who, as you know, has directed Saw 10, Saw 6, Saw 7, you know, some of the greats. I think Saw 6 is a really good movie. So he is going to be directing the next movie, we know that much. We also know that there's going to be a returning writer, and this specific writer has wrote a lot of the Hoffman era movies. And this is where my point comes in, that I'm pretty sure Mark Hoffman is going to be in the next movie a lot more than he was in Saw 10. Of course, he was teased in the post-credit scene of the movie, and it would be kind of pointless to have a little post-credit scene with Mark Hoffman and not continue that. And one thing that we can theorize about is when it will be set. I don't think it's been set anywhere, as far as I'm aware, when Saw 11 is going to be set. But we can assume that it's going to be a direct sequel to Saw 10, based on a few things. The first thing being, in my opinion, it was pretty strange that they left Cecilia alive. At the end of the movie, she is left alive. At least we don't see her body. Which, in Saw, if you don't see a body, they are not dead, right? That is weird to me, and I think obviously they're going to bring her back. I don't know what they're going to do with her character. And I have a couple theories. I've seen some people on TikTok saying that maybe Hoffman will go after her and kill her. That would be fun to see. I feel like it is strange that they kept her character alive regardless of what they do. I mean, there is the possibility that she could end up being an apprentice. Probably not likely, considering we've basically seen every apprentice at this point, and it's like, how could there be any more in between that? I don't know. But you never know. Will it be set in between that same timestamp of after Saw 1 and before Saw 2? I don't know. We know there was a decent time gap in there. There was also a time gap between Saw 2 and 3, because obviously, Amanda has longer hair in Saw 3, and, Matthews has a full beard. There was like a 6-month period at least. But regardless, Hoffman's going to be in it, and he's going to be in it a lot more than he was in Saw 10. Because also, if he isn't in it, I feel like it's really weird to bring back Costas just for one scene at the end of Saw 10. I feel like that will be... I mean, it's good for the fans. I enjoyed the scene. I'm sure many others did. But I just think it's a bit weird, and I think clearly they're teasing his return in Saw 11. Also, I've watched a lot of interviews with him, and he seems like he's clearly in Saw 11. He clearly knows he's going to be in Saw 11, and he's doing his best to not say anything. There's also the possibility that it's not a prequel, and that it's in fact a sequel or takes place later in the timeline. If Hoffman is really involved in it, how could it be a sequel? Well, Costas has said the possibility that Hoffman escaped the bathroom, and wasn't left for dead. Also the possibility that he'd hunt down Lawrence and stuff, which I think would be really cool to see. But like he said in the interview, it will probably never happen. They'll probably never listen to his idea, which makes sense. And I don't know if it would be the best idea for that to happen, because I think it's a very full circle, poetic ending Saw 7 has, and I think it's a pretty good ending. I feel like it'll be a bit weird to undo that. Another thing about Saw 11 is, if it is a prequel, like we suspect, there isn't really that much crazy plot twists they can do regarding characters that we know of. I mean, we know everything that happens after that, and that's the problem with the prequels, is you can't really shock us too much. I do think Saw 10 did it well by having the kid in the trap and stuff like that, because no one's seen that coming, and I think they had a decent twist without it being connected to any of the other movies. That's another reason I didn't really like Jigsaw as much as the others. I don't hate Jigsaw, and I don't think it was a bad movie, but I think just them completely putting it before everything in the timeline just felt really weird. And it's like, why was John's first trap these kind of random people? I guess it was a test game, right? But it just feels so weird to me. And also, can we just talk about John being the biggest hypocrite imaginable? He always says it can never be personal when literally Cecil was his first trap. That was like the most personal a trap can get. But the question is really, how much can you do in between Saw 1 and 2? You know? I feel like at this point the timeline's getting pretty crammed, and there's going to be a point where we have to make it a sequel to everything we've seen. I also think, like I said, I wasn't the biggest fan of Jigsaw, but I do think it was weird to set up Logan as this new Jigsaw apprentice esque person, this Jigsaw copycat, and never return to him. Not that I think Logan would do that many more traps. I mean, his main traps was to get revenge on Halloran, right? But like, I still feel like it's weird to set him up as the next Jigsaw and then never return. It'll also be interesting to see Amanda again, assuming we see her in Saw 11. I mean, of course we did in Saw 10. I think it was good that they had Amanda in Saw 10. I think it adds some more development to her character, especially how it ends in Saw 3. And her like emotional connection to John Kramer. I think that was really good, and I'm excited to see what they do with her character in the next movie. I also hope they explore Amanda and Hoffman's kind of like fighting siblings relationship, because that was definitely interesting to see, and I think it'll be interesting to see them two interact more, because we really never see that. Also, something that will probably never happen, but I would like to see, is the return of Lawrence in some way. I mean, he is the only Jigsaw apprentice to fully follow the rules, never mess up, never fail, and never die as far as we know. Lawrence is the only surviving Jigsaw apprentice besides Logan. But I mean, does Logan count? I mean, Logan was gone for like how many years, right? Another idea that would be kind of cool, Carlos, the kid in Saw 10, I think it would be cool if in like a future sequel that takes place, I don't know, more recently, if he came back as like an apprentice when he's all grown up. You know what I mean? I feel like that would be a cool idea, because he kind of, like, if they took him in and stuff, he would be kind of raised by John Kramer, by Jigsaw, even if Jigsaw was dead for most of it. He would be raised in that environment, so he would kind of always have that Jigsaw mindset. I definitely think it'll be interesting to see Hoffman in between Saw 2 and 3, because that is a kind of era of Hoffman that we never really seen. So it would be interesting to see him being an apprentice more like before John's death, because most of what we see of Hoffman is after John's dead, and it's just Hoffman's games and different things like that. Another character that I would love to see back is Jill, because I feel like Jill Tuck, it would make sense to bring her back. Like, it would be cool to see even just a few scenes with her, to bring her character back. There are almost infinite possibilities of characters that you could bring back in this next movie. If it takes place between Saw 1 and 2, I mean, most of the characters that we later see die would be alive, even if it wouldn't really make sense to bring some of them in. And it really depends, like, they could go in different directions. It really depends if they're going to go for the fan service route and do all this stuff that I mentioned, like cameos and different characters that we've seen, or are they going to make it so anyone can watch it? Because I feel like Saw 10, most people could watch Saw 10 and they don't need to know the Saw lore. I feel like anyone could watch it because it doesn't really require that much knowledge of the Saw franchise. All you gotta know is John Kramer is the Jigsaw Killer, and he's going to Mexico for some sketchy treatment. That's all you need to know. It's a pretty simple movie to enjoy, and I think that works really well for them. But my question is, are they gonna still go down that route and do a movie that anybody can watch with some fan service in there, or are they gonna really lean into the fan stuff? I wouldn't mind either way, but I do hope that they lean into the fan stuff. I really would love to see all these cameos, like I mentioned, see all these characters come back. I mean, someone even mentioned the possibility of Strom showing up. That would be really cool. But again, Strom, I don't know the full timeline of Strom, but I'm pretty sure he wouldn't really be involved in the Jigsaw case at that point. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments. I'm not too sure, but I thought he was only really involved since like Saw 3, 4, because it's the same time. But yeah, let me know what you would like to see in Saw 11, because I could ramble on forever about this. and not get anywhere. I just wanted to make this. I'm in a Saw phase. I want Saw 11, so I want to yap about it. What I think could happen. Let me know what you think is gonna happen in Saw 11, and let me know what you would want to see, because I have a lot of ideas, and I think it'll be pretty cool. So yeah.
Actual goals, AF. Literally, my life is beaches every single night. Messy buns and Christmas lights. Literally, my life.
Piranha.
John.